This conference will now be recorded.
All right, good afternoon and welcome to the Clear Lines training session. I am your host, Kipp Cohen. It is Thursday, the 16th of December, 2021. This is a twice weekly training session every Tuesday and Thursday at 1:30 Eastern. These training sessions are geared towards and for the subscribers of the Clear Lines indicator running on the Medved Trader platform, or for those that have interest in learning more about clear lines as well as equity-alerts.com. These sessions are typically user-driven sessions, meaning I'm here to answer your questions and assist you in using the platform and the indicators. If you have questions, you could submit them through the GoToMeeting chat. Today's session is being recorded and will be posted on the Equity Alerts YouTube page. I do want to spend some time discussing about some of the changes that I have decided to make based on the market volatility. And real quick, if you have questions outside of this session, you're always welcome to email me, kip@equity-alerts.com, text or call 972-841-8886. So for those that were listening in to my morning session on the Equity Alerts webinar, I talked about some changes that I was making with my trading and several things. I've shifted some funds around. I'm going to be primarily trading out of one of my TD accounts now for several reasons. One of the things that that TD makes available is the bracket order. And what that does is when you get into a trade, it allows you to set both a stop and a limit to take profit. So in essence, it takes the emotion out of the trade, because as soon as you set that order, you're basically going one way or the other. You've got to stop. It's either going to hit the stop or you're going to get a profit and it's going to hit your limit. Because of the way this market's been lately, the volatility, the wild swings we've been seeing, I think it's important to be disciplined in your trading, to use stops, to use limits, to capture profit when you can, to minimize risk or stop loss when you can. It's too easy to let a trade get away from you and then you mid trade say, well, I'll give it some more room. I'll give it a little more room. And then before you know it, you're sitting on it, waiting for it to come back. And I don't like doing that. I'm trying to break that I wouldn't call it a habit, but it has happened, and I am in a couple of positions right now that are upside down, and I'm having to weather that. And I mean, for the most part, they've always come back. Sometimes they take a little longer than I want, but I don't want to be doing that. I don't want to worry about it anymore. I just want to be able to put on my trade, know my risk, set my stop, set my limit, and let the market do its thing. For me, it's a lot less stress. And I'm sure for a lot of you guys, it's also less stressful. Because you should know pretty quick when you're looking at a trade opportunity, you should be able to determine pretty quick if it's a good risk to reward trade and if it's worth taking or not taking. That should be almost like second nature as a trader. You look at an opportunity, you look at the charts, you should be able to say, okay, I know I can make up to X amount, 50 cents, a dollar. And I know I can risk 25 or 30 cents in this. All right. Stuff like that should be very quick, very second nature, very, you shouldn't have to think about it very long, because when you're making the decision whether to get in or get out of a trade, a lot of times you don't have that opportunity to sit and dwell for very long, because if you do, you'll miss out. And, that happened to me today. I sat there thinking about a trade, and then it moved, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to chase it. And that's okay. I don't want to be a chaser. But it is, I think, in these conditions, I think it's critical that you are limiting your risk and you're trying to maximize your profit. So I'll tell you, TD does offer this. What you have to do is, if you have an account with TD, you have to call them. You can't do it online. You have to call support, and you have to request to have advanced features disabled on your account. And, the funny thing is, you would say, okay, well, bracket order is an advanced feature, but what that does, it does restrict, if you trade futures or forex, you won't be able to do that any longer. So if that's something you do, you can still do bracket orders. You just will have to do it directly through the Thinkorswim platform, which is just if you're trading on the Medved platform right now, then that would be an extra step to go over to your TOS and then place that bracket. And it's a little more cumbersome. So I don't think there's a lot of traders in our group that trade Forex and futures, especially through TD. I mean, there might be some IB customers that do, or there may be some futures traders that trade futures, like I trade futures through Trade Station. So I'm not worried about it. But you do need to do that, have advanced features disabled. And then what happens is, the next trading day, then you'll have that option, like you see on my chart right here, bracket. You can place a bracket order. And I really like it. It just, to me, it just removes all emotion from the trade. What I can do is, let me just I'll find something that I'll just short like 10 shares or something, just to give you an example here. We'll do BABA. I'm just going to do 10 shares because I won't get hurt on 10 shares. Okay, so let's say I like it here. I want to short it, right? So I place my order. I'm executed. I'm in the trade. So then I go to this window because I have brackets set here. So I sell. So now I need to buy. So it tells me how much my loss would be depending on where I set my stop. So let's say I'm willing to lose 20 cents. So I click it once. So I got a 20-cent stop, and I'm looking to make 60 cents. So I got a limit down at 01. All right. Now, actually hold on. 01. There we go. 01 and 81. So check. check. So now I have a bracket order. So I have the trade basically locked in. I've got my stop in place. So I'm only going to lose 20 cents. And I have my limit in place at 01. So I'll make, if it hits, I'll make 60 cents. And that's a good risk to reward. Risk 1 to make 3, right? Risk 20, sorry, 1 to 2. Risk 20 to make, no, that's 3. 60, that's 1 to 3. 40 would be 1 to 2. One to 3, risk to reward. The stop actually should be up a little higher above that prior high, but whatever. It's probably going to come up and stop me out. I just realized that. So here's the negative. I'll tell you, the negative is to change the order, you can't, I can't go in and modify one side of it. I literally have to cancel the order. So if I wanted to move it up above like risk 30 to make 60, okay, because, oh wait, I realized that my stop was too tight. Right? Then I go, okay, I need to stop there. That's still right at that high. Probably need to go another 10 cents to put it out of harm's way. Then it's now if I go another 10 cents, then it's risk 40 to make 60, which is still 1 to 1.5. It's not great, but it puts me out of harm's way. That's the only thing I wish. I wish you could modify. I don't think I can go over to, I wonder what would happen if I go modify on the, let me try this. Cancel, replace. Let's see if this will let me do it. I might be able to modify it on the TO. See, now I can't see the other side of the I see it on TOS. I see my stop, but now I can't see my stop over here. If you go in and modify it on the platform, right? Oh, see, you can't do that. So hold on. I have to cancel the OCO group. Okay, now I can reset it. Yeah. So you don't want to mix them up like that. Okay. Now I feel better because I'm above the prior high. So I'm risking a little more, risking 40 to make 60. It's still in my realm. You know, one of the things I've always taught is that you should strive for an average risk to reward of 1 to 1.5 or better, right? Because you might have some trades that end up being 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. You might have some 1 to 1s, but at the end of the day, you want to average 1 to 1.5 or better. So this would be in the acceptable range of risk to reward. But I like this because it does it literally just, once you get it set, I'm not going to use the term set it and forget it because you don't ever want to set it and forget it, but it's the wheels are in motion, right? We know one of two things are going to happen. Either this is going to roll over and drop and hit my limit, or it's going to bounce, break the high, and stop me out. That's it. I mean, it could theoretically just chop around for a while and go nowhere, but odds are it's going to do one or the other. It's either going to break out or break down. And if at some point it just isn't doing it, I can always hit the flatten button and bail out of the position. If you have an account with IB, they have bracket orders also. So you would be able to do this through IB. I can open up, hold on, let me open up. This is my IB demo account. So we are going to retest. The question is, do we break the high or not? I don't know if any of the other integrated brokers offer the ability to do brackets. Okay, so let's switch to interactive. And you can see, yep, I have bracket. So let's do the same thing. All right, so got my short. Then we want to do bracket and buy. So we set our stop and we set our limit. And then boom. So now on IB, you can, once you've set your bracket, you can actually modify either side of it. So I could go, let's move the limit down. See, I really wish TD allowed you to modify, because then you can kind of ratchet your bracket. Like as you're in an ideal world, what you would do is as your trade moves in your favor, you start moving your stop down. You probably don't want to move your limit unless it gets close and you feel like you can get more out of it. Then you could start moving it down and then tighten up your stop. But then you can start to kind of tighten up the ratchet, so to speak. So then you're like, you're starting to move your stop down. As you get into profit, then you can, you know, all right, you're slowly just moving it into your favor, and then you can get your stop to break even, or in profit, and then let it do its thing. So actually, let me go back over, hold on, to my account because we're in a winning trade now. Oh, by just a little. Great. Now it bounces right back up. I was in a better price on the other trade. And again, this is another great feature. If you have accounts with 2 or 3 different brokers, you can flip back and forth between accounts. Pretty quickly and easily. Oh, look at that. Here we go. So now if I want to protect 20 cents, then I move my stop. Just keep kind of ratchet down. All right, I'm just going to close this out. Let's test I need to test this anyway. There we go. Out at 120.39. So a little over 20 cents. And then we can go back over here, go to the IB. We can move that stop down. Oh, now it's dumping. So now if I want to move my limit down because I'm like, oh man, this thing's going to keep running. And I can move my limit down and then move my stop down. So I'm basically just ratcheting in my direction. So it's kind of like a trailing stop and limit in essence. It's a manual trailing stop and a trailing limit. I feel like you're in much more control when you have the ability to manage your trade like this. All right, what are you gonna do, Baba? I want to see this thing break 120. Now we got now we got 50 protected, so that's good. So over the next couple weeks, I'm just going to be focused on when I get into a trade, getting my bracket set quickly and keeping the discipline. I don't know why that stop didn't trigger. Why IB on a demo? I think it because it's delayed or something. I don't know. It should take it out. All right, let me go back over to my account. Any questions so far?
Kipp, this is Scott.
Yeah. Hey, Scott.
Hi. I was curious, when you're doing your ratcheting, would you not prefer to uh, raise your loss limit upward if you're already in the positive?
No, I don't personally because my goal is when I get into the trade is as soon as I feel like I have enough wiggle room is to get to break even. And then when I can protect a little bit of profit, start to protect some of the profit. Especially in this market where we see wild swings where stocks will move up and down $1 in a in a minute. They'll just dump and then bounce right back. So if you want to consistently grab profits quickly, you have to be responsive to the moves that are making, which means you have to start pulling that stop down into profit quickly. If you start opening your stop, then you're opening yourself up to the risk of if it makes a wild swing up in a very swift manner, you might get stopped out. And the thing I don't want to do is take a trade that I've massaged basically into profit and then now turn it into a loss.
Hmm.
There, there
Okay,
are,
so
go ahead.
yeah, so I, I might not be using the right term here, but if you've got a bracket that says, for example, let me make it simple. If I buy at $10 and I want to do a risk reward of 1 to 2,
Yep,
$10, I'm willing to take a $1 loss. So I would uh, hit that trigger at $9,
correct.
or I would like to make a $2 gain, and I'd be satisfied with that.
Yep.
So if the stock moved up to 11, would I not want to move up my sell side from 9 up to maybe 950 or to 10?
Your stop is what you're referring to. You're talking about moving your stop loss up.
Yes, correct.
Yes, that's exactly what I was referring to. But
Okay, okay.
but remember, I was just shorting. So in a shorting scenario, stops are coming down. When you're long, your stops are moving up. Correct. Absolutely. That's what you want to be doing. You want
Okay,
to,
so I'm sorry, I totally misunderstood. I wasn't clear that you were on a short. So
yeah,
I'm sorry.
that BABA trade that I just did, I was short. You can see
Okay,
sell 120.61 and then I bought at 120.39. So yeah, the idea is always move a stop into your favor, into your direction that you're going. So
yes,
if you're going long, then you're moving a stop up. If you're going short, you're moving a stop down. You never want to go opposite. You don't want to start pushing it away. But
right.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
I follow you now.
once you get that dollar, yeah, then go to break even or protect 10 or 15 or 20 cents. Wherever your comfort level, And that's part that, as you develop your own set of rules and your own trading plan, you get to decide. That's not my decision, and I'll never tell you you have to do it a certain way. I just I know when I feel like, and I watch how it moves, but when I feel like I can get to break even and give it enough wiggle room, then I'm going to get to break even. And then when I can protect a little bit of profit, I'm going to protect a little bit of profit. The only downfall is if I move it too quickly or too tight, that a quick pop and it takes me out and then turns around and keeps going. That
Yes,
it's going to happen. Okay, it shouldn't happen every time, but it'll happen every once in a while. And you don't know it could also pop and turn and just rip the other way, and then you just protected yourself from potentially a huge loss. So, you know, I'm not afraid to make a tiny bit of money. That's okay because I'd rather make a tiny bit than lose any day.
agreed.
And I might miss out, and that's okay. It was like when I was in Apple, earlier in the day. Um, Jimmy was giving me a little bit of a hard time because, I bailed at, let's see, I was in at 175.49. I went out at 176.01. So I got over 50 cents on it. All right. And it started to roll over. Well, it went a little higher and he was kind of razzing me a bit, but look what it ended up doing. It rolled over. And now look,
You avoided that.
I avoided that.
Yes.
So I would be in a $2 loss right now if I was still in the trade. So I'm okay with, yeah, I might have missed out on another 20 or 30 or 40 cents on the upside, but I captured 50 and I didn't turn it into a loss. And some traders might have stuck with it and they're still in it waiting for it to turn back around because they didn't hit where they thought it was going to get to, whatever magic number that was. Maybe they thought it was going to go up $2 or $3 and it didn't. It's there is an element to trading that you have to not be emotionally attached to your trades, and you can't let your ego get in the way, where you think that you're going to make all this money on every trade. It's not going to happen. It's just like that when I got out this morning, that ADGI. I was in it for a couple of days. Well, I was down over $300 yesterday, and this morning when it popped out of nowhere, and I was up over $200, it popped up and it was starting to pull back a little, and I'm like,
Good enough.
good enough. Little did I know that it was going to run another, $5, $6, but I don't care. I can't, every trade, I can't get wrapped up in what I possibly missed out on. I have to focus on each trade, get in, make sure I'm making money. And if I'm losing, I'm out quick and move on
Yep.
to the next one.
Yep. Bird in the
Because
hand.
bird in the hand, right? Because there are 1,000 trades that I've done that I could have made a ton more money, and there are another 1,000 trades that I would have lost a ton of money had I not taken profits. So you 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 just want to find that comfort level where you're being consistent and um and not worrying about what you missed out on. I do it sometimes in jest just because you kind of have to, but it doesn't bother me. I don't care that I missed out on another, over $1,000, whatever. I'll make it up on another trade. It's no big deal.
No. Well, I got you exactly right. So I'm following you right now. So thank you very much.
Yep, you bet. So, like I said, over the next couple weeks, my primary focus is just to because I haven't been using brackets for a while. I want to focus on perfecting my use of brackets and making sure that every single trade, as soon as I get in, gets a stop and a limit, and that I don't take that risk that something runs away from me. I'm just not going to allow that to happen in 2022. No runaways. Because I don't like that. I'd rather be able to sleep better at night knowing that at the end of the day, I'm in cash. I'm not stressing about that upside down trade that may take a couple days, a couple weeks, or a couple months to have it come back. I don't want to do that. Just consistent every day, day in, day out. Some days I might make a little, some days I might make a lot. It's okay. It's just about consistency, discipline. And so that, again, my goal for 2022 is the year of the disciplined trader, the year of making sure every trade gets an immediate stop and a limit. And so that is the game plan. And there's really not much more I feel like I can do to change. I feel like chart wise, the tools that I have are exactly where they need to be. I don't need any more indicators. I don't need to cluster up my windows. I don't need, I feel like I can look at a chart or look at my four charts. I can make a decision pretty easily. I don't think I feel like I need any other, I use the clear lines and, for deciding when to get in, get out, and I use pivots and Fibonacci pivots and VWAP to help me figure out where my potential targets are. And then I use the CCI also. That's more of a confirmation to know if the shift of momentum is really what that does. One second. Give me just a minute. Okay. So that's kind of what I really wanted to cover for today. I don't really have much else to cover. Looks like Nasdaq's hitting lows of the session. Dow is curling over now. Looks like we're getting close to session lows on, yep, S&P's at session lows, Nasdaq's at session lows. Dow's getting close to session lows. The markets have rolled back down. I don't really see anything that jumps out at me that looks really that great at this point. Boy, the poppers worked out good today, especially plug. Oof, that was a good popper. Yeah, I don't see anything worth trying to jump on at this point. NVAC's running. Qualcomm at lows. Roblox at lows. Walmart's hitting lows. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it here today. I want to thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, just email me or text me. And have a great afternoon, and thanks for being here. I'll
Okay,
see
thank
y'all.
you.
Yep, thanks, Scott. Thanks all. We'll see you later.